Good morning. So it's a new week, which means a new elective, and this time we're switching things up with our elective. We're doing radiology for this week, so come with me and see how it goes. So first off, I followed the signs to find out where I was going to meet the preceptor for my first day, and then I actually went a little bit too far and the receptionist stopped me and put me in this waiting room before the site coordinator came by and picked me up and told me where to go for my first day and the following days afterwards. It was definitely a bit of a maze to walk around and try to figure out where I was going, but eventually I made it to the room I needed to go to for my first day of radiology. So today I was on body MRI with my preceptor and I was a bit surprised at how bright this room actually was. Midway through our shift, we went for a quick coffee run. Personally, I don't drink any coffee, so I got my usual hot chocolate. Also, I can't believe this is $3.50, so thank you to my preceptor for buying that for me. So we are finished for today's morning session with the radiologist. It goes from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. every day of this week. And then the rest of the day is spent on online rounding and resident lectures. So I'm gonna head home, pop onto Zoom, and do that. See you then! So first up was noon rounds. Specifically today they were talking about trauma, and we also went over some ultrasounds together. Then we had our one-on-one lecture with the resident, and we went over an approach to chest x-rays, which was super helpful to review and go over together. So on the next day I was assigned to do body CT scans with my preceptor, so I walked down a different hallway and managed to get lost maybe twice before I was able to find the room I needed to go to and meet my preceptor. In comparison to yesterday's room, this room is definitely on the darker side. I had to brighten this artificially so you can actually see what's going on in the room, which is primarily consisting of the preceptors, the monitors they use, their dictation devices, and chairs, as well as myself too. So these are the special monitors that radiologist uses to read their images, and for obvious reasons there's nothing on here right now for patient confidentiality. So today is the third day of my radiology elective, and it's been going really well so far. So on the first day I did body MRI. Yesterday was primarily CT scans, but we also had some x-rays sprinkled in between. Today was ultrasound, and because I was doing that particular imaging modality with my preceptor, we got a chance to do an ultrasound guided liver biopsy. So the fact that I was able to step out of the reporting room, this is how I felt. So basically it was like seeing the light, literally, since the rooms where they do the reporting is always quite dark. So during the ultrasound guided liver biopsy, which was the very first time I saw one, I contributed by turning the lights on and off. Definitely felt like a real doctor after helping out with those lights. So yay! Medical student being useful during a procedure. So this week's a bit different just because we do have the Easter long weekend. That means instead of the 5 days for a 1-week elective, I'm doing only 4 days. So tomorrow's actually my last day on elective, and so far I've been really enjoying myself. So we'll see how it goes, and until then, have a great day. Bye! So I joined my usual noon rounds for today, and for some odd reason, the Zoom link wasn't working. So yeah, that was a total bummer, unfortunately. Anyways, I decided to get $5 ramen instead, so that definitely made up for this very sad moment. Good morning. So today's the last day of my radiology elective, and I came in here as usual around 9 a.m. My preceptor wasn't there for today yet, and so I was wearing my normal clinic clothes. My preceptor came back and then told me to change into scrubs, so we'll see how the rest of the day goes. So it turns out I had to change into scrubs because I was on interventional radiology with that particular preceptor, and so the nurses there gave me this lead apron to wear so I would be protected from the different radiation while observing the interventional procedure. Wearing the apron was definitely a good workout because it was so heavy, and because this was the only size that fit me, it's definitely giving cheetah vibes with that pattern. So that was pretty exciting because we did interventional radiology, so they gave me an apron to wear, and I went and observed the procedure, which was an iliac restenosis. Alright, I'm gonna change out of my scrubs and then let you know my final thoughts for this elective. Hey there! So we're all changed out of our scrubs and now it's time to head over for grand rounds at noon. But before I do so, I did want to talk about my experiences and my thoughts on this elective. Usually radiology is a 1-week elective, so 5 days, but because we had the long weekend coming up, I had only the 4 days instead, but I still had a chance to experience a lot of different imaging modalities and work with 4 different preceptors on each of the days. So I mentioned earlier in the video that we did things like MRI, CT, X-rays, and then yesterday was the ultrasounds, and then today was interventional radiology with the iliac restenosis case. So it was a really good variety and I enjoyed being able to see a lot of different cases. I found that the first 2 days was mostly spent looking at images with my preceptors, but that was great actually because I had a chance to review anatomy and we definitely brushed up on some of the more common things we see in these imaging modalities, and I feel a little bit more confident about ultrasounds and MRIs especially, as well as CT scans. And then I thought that it was a really good educational setup that they had here. Not only do you work with different preceptors with different areas and specialties, but also you get a chance to attend roundings on every day, and then you also have a chance to have one-on-one lectures with the residents in radiology. So I felt that I had a chance to learn lots from different people. So ultimately, I had a very good time with this elective, and for those who are interested in exploring radiology, I would highly recommend for you to try. I only did the 1 week. You can do 1 or 2 weeks here at the school I'm attending for medical school, but I did the 1 week because I wanted to have a taste to see how it goes. So next week we're starting the next elective and we'll let you know what's going on. See you then. Bye.